Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Wednesday, April the 13th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Master of One, Part 4. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. It's funny how when you're focused on something, how you start seeing things all over the place. It's like when I was first in the Mazda Miatas, everywhere I'd look seems like, oh, there's one, oh, there's one, there's one. Well, we're talking about Master of One. Well, in today's email, the inspiring quote was, find your style and stick to it. And they weren't talking about trading, it was just a general life quote. But it definitely applies to trading. It's like, once you find your style and it works, stick to it. Now, of course, this might be one of those do as I say, not as I do moments, because as you guys know, I'm constantly finding different methods, but the methods for the most part share one common denominator, and that's taking trades at horizontal lines. So whether they're at opens, closes, pivot points, highs and lows, previous highs and lows, previous middles, you just put lines on the chart and you take the trade. So I guess you could say that I'm trying to master the horizontal line trade. So what you have to decide is, what are you trying to master? It could even be, you could be the master of squiggly lines. That's okay. But what one thing? Because I know I get emails from different traders, and sometimes, they'll be asking me about one thing, and then the next time could be a few days later, a few weeks later, a month later, even a year later, they're asking me about something that's got nothing to do with the first thing. So I'm just wondering, are they still trying to master, or did the first thing not work? It's hard to say. So let me know what you're trying to master. I'd really be curious. So in the comments on YouTube today, if you're watching this video, please put a comment. Tell me what aspect or what type of trade you're trying to master. It could be a method or something as simple, like I said, is horizontal line breaks, breakouts, reversals, 3 level ZZ semaphores. Just, I'm curious what you're trying to master. And one thing we all must master is the risk management, so we don't lose more than we're willing to lose on any one particular trade. So looking at the month, we can see price crack below the 1.30. It's done it a few times. Looks like we're wanting to put in a new monthly low, which is kind of blowing out the seasonality type trading. But then again, it says moves higher into the end of April, and we're at the middle of April, so it's like we're still good to go, possibly. All gaps have filled on the weekly, but we haven't hit the weekly pivot. We're only 21 pips off the weekly low at the moment and 33 below the open. We broke out of the inside bar from yesterday and the inside bar from Monday, which was the opening range also. We put in a new yearly low at 29.73. So we're coming out of that, we could call it the yearly rat zone at the moment. You can see here we crossed back into the inside bar from one day ago. Inside bar action on the daily, weekly, only a few on the monthly. Wow, the pound New Zealand had a huge range, 384. So something must have happened in New Zealand. Range is huge. But we have lots of pairs over 100 pips, but not the pound. So it looks like here on the chart, something must have happened to New Zealand because it looks like its currency is taking a hit. Okay, we're below the weekly open. We haven't crossed it above it today. We've been zigzagging here, crisscrossing the daily open line at 1.30, which is also psychological. So once again, there's one of my old favorite horizontal lines to trade right there. Rats. Range is large enough considering we've changed the range, I believe, to about 45 or 50 due to the fact that the pound doesn't have those nice 150 pip range days like it used to 10, 20 years ago, somewhere around there, 10, 12 years ago. We took out today's pivot. Near the pivot short, that's paid off. Near S1 long, that's paid off. So we took out the daily, missed the weekly, and still haven't hit the monthly. In and out of that lower wick zone from the previous day. Looks like we're setting up for another double O cross. Lowest high here off of a 3-ball. You see it broke through once, twice, 3 times. We're on a 4th time. So Walmal's trading. He's probably done trading by now, but if he's still out there, I'm sure he's nailing that trade. And there's on the price action with the sweet spots. You can see here there was a Walmart line. We didn't break out of the previous H1 yet. So far we've got an inside bar. We haven't hit the ATRs. Let's see, we put in the high of the day 7 hours ago and the low of the day 6 hours ago. You can see that right there. On what I like to call my map, we can see the dollar is strong, followed by the pound. So that might be the reason, since they're so close in strength, why we only have about 53 pip range on the day. Previous 3 hours, over 20 pips in H4 range. And there's an H4 pivot that hasn't been taken out at 130.31. I think yesterday I was talking about trading the high-low from 2 bars ago. You can see here that just paid off, and we had a double O cross there. It went to 01, so hopefully if you got in right at double O, you could have punched out at 01 before it reversed. Now, there was a trader that asked me something about, he said that he was picking one direction. Like I said, you're either red rat, green rat, or a Yale student. And he said he was, I guess, losing. So I think my advice to that trader is, go back, take a look at your entries, figure out what's the reason you entered, look to see, was there an opportunity to take profit? Because if there wasn't, that's just the market. If there was, then the question is, what's the reason you didn't take profit? Did you want more? It was funny. Yesterday I was in one of those sessions on YouTube, a live session. The trading psychologist had had an hour, so I was in there listening, and somebody said something to the effect that they were taking their trades and things weren't working out or something, and I put the comment, trading isn't like baking. You can follow your trading plan, aka recipe, but your results aren't guaranteed. I said, once you get that, your emotional problems or your emotions should smooth out. And the guy said that he thought I was right, but he also thought I was wrong. And I thought that was kind of interesting, because I think I understand. He says that, if you have something else going on inside you, inside your head, where it has really nothing to do with the trading, but something is triggering your emotion. And I really think what has to happen is it's how you interpret what's going on in the chart. I mean, look at what just happened. You saw how fast price moved. It was down at 97, and look where it is now. This is a 1 minute bar. It just went right across that double low. Don't know if it was humanly possible to enter that trade. Maybe you have to have a pending order there as soon as you can. When it was down at 97, that was at least 2 pips away from your pending. So maybe if you put it in, you could have gotten in. Unfortunately, you put a pending at double low, it might not have gotten you in until 02 in this particular case. And now you'd be up a pip and a half, and price stalled. And, if it stalls, it falls. That's something we used to say a long time ago. It could go up, could go down, and it just happened to go up. And so let's just say you punched out right there, and then it just ran up like that. I know I'd be ticked. Look at that. I got out, I would have gotten out at 3.5. I just left 2 pips on the table. Now Walmart says, hey, well, you have 1.5 pips more than you had before the trade, so be happy. And see, that could be the healthy way to look at it, because that's just market. You can't control that. You could not control what price was going to do next. You have no idea of knowing that. So there's no reason to be upset or to be mad, angry, ticked off, whatever you want to call it, just because price did what it did. You can't control what price does. So you just have to internalize that and go, you know what? Hey, that's just it. I'm just sitting here waiting for my next trade. That's all I'm going to do right now. So, fellow traders, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you have any more questions, on this master of one, feel free to ask. I did have a couple of traders ask me about some indicators. I think I answered those via email, but I might also bring those up in a video. So when you sit down at your trading terminal, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. Go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.